The leaks for chapter 326 are out, and we have been blessed by the Blue Lock gods, as firstly we get small cameos from all of the new Generation 11 players outside of Lorenzo, but we also see a brand new Generation 11 player, and it's the one from the France team, so not to waste any time, let's get right into it. Alright, so the chapter starts off with the text saying, "The excitement erupts, and an unexpected turn of events shakes up the U20 World Cup match." We then see the crowd going into a wild frenzy because of Isagi's goal. We even see his parents and also Bachira's mom all jumping up from their seats. We then see the commentators screaming goal again and again. They continue and say that it's here. It's Isagi Yoichi. After that, we see Isagi celebrating, looking super intense. However, we also spot Bachira, who jumps up on top of his shoulder, and Corona, who's coming in from the side and wants to join in on the fun. The commentator then continues and says that with the final strike of Japan's young ace, Blue Lock Japan dominates their first match. After that, Bachira gets down from Isagi, and then the two of them make a super cool looking handshake as they look super ecstatic. Bachira says that it was a perfect mutual understanding, telling Isagi that he is truly the best and calling him a monster. Isagi then looks to him and tells him that he knew that Bachira would send him just a pass like that. Bachira laughs and he really looks happy, telling Isagi that this is something that only he could pull off. Just then, Corona makes a super insane move as he puts his hands on both of their heads and jumps up high into the air. He looks super funny, at the very least. Anyway, he also wants to join in on the conversation and tells them that they are way too cool. We then get a small panel from Rin, who looks over at them, and he just laughs a bit, which is strange coming from him. After that, we get to the bench where we see Baru, whose face is in his jacket, and he calls this game a piece of trash. We then get to Shidu, who it feels like we haven't seen any of them for ages. But anyway, back on topic, Shidu says that this is seriously getting him all fired up. He then adds a music note emoji because he is just that guy. After that, we see Corona and Bachira going into the sweetest pose with each other before Aiku comes by and calls out for Isagi. Aiku throws him a water bottle and tells him that he really threw something outrageous at him. However, he asks Isagi if all of that was calculated. Isagi grabs the water bottle he got sent and tells him that no, not at all. He explains that his last shot was seriously improvised. He explains that he was expecting Onazi to awaken, but shooting from that kind of trap, there is no way that he could have predicted it until he saw that moment. Aiku then looks closely at Isagi and says his name. He then says that he understands and says that his thought process and intuition have gotten way faster than before, explaining that he has even come so far that he is devouring Ego's plans with an absolute self-curiosity. Isagi then smiles brightly and thanks their captain. He even goes as far as telling him that it's thanks to him that he was able to try the experiment. After that, we switch sides and we see Bello, who is super angry about this loss. We then move on to Oboabona, who says that this is a complete defeat, saying out loud that everything that they had has now been completely destroyed. After that, we get to the master glazer Kuso, who says that they have been devoured. Kuso looks over towards Isagi and says that their fire, their ego, and Onazi's evolution, he pretended to draw out their awakening and turn it into data for the Japan team, saying that he also used them just for his own growth, and he starts to wonder how far Isagi is really able to push himself, and he says that this guy is truly insane. And that's just so much aura. Using the other team and not being worried about losing, but instead trying to gather more data. If I were Kuso, then I don't know what I would have done. Anyway, Kuso then snaps and almost looks angry as he says that Isagi's soccer is the absolute worst kind. Hey, it's Natsu mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you are already down there, why not leave a like as well? After that, Onazi walks over and catches him saying that, and he even agrees and calls Isagi the worst, explaining that in the small world that they lived in, he's the worst kind of egoist. Kuso sees him and says this name, but Onazi then continues and says that even with all of that, Isagi is still the one who shattered their small world. They both look at Isagi, and Onazi says that he is the greatest footballer. He thanks Isagi and says that he is glad to have met him here. Isagi then looks back and asks him if it became a good memory for him. Onazi just laughs and starts to smile and says that it's not something that ends as just a memory. After that, he puts out his fist towards Isagi and looks super pumped up and tells him that someday he will surpass him, telling Isagi to wait for him in the future. Isagi then meets his fist and they make a fist bump, and Isagi says that there it is, the ambition and curiosity, telling him that they need to meet again, and Kuso, who looks at this, just looks super shocked. After that, the commentators say that with a splendid comeback victory, Japan's national team is off to an excellent start. However, we then see Kaiser, who is watching this on the TV with pure rage. He is drinking a can of Coca-Cola, but he smashes the can as he gets upset, and we also see that he has countless more cans around him, kind of like his dad, but not with alcohol, so it's alright. Anyway, Kaiser tells Isagi not to laugh, telling him with an intense tone that this was so shitty that he can't even stomach his cola as he still drinks it. We then get to Sei, who literally starts to yawn. After that, he actually looks annoyed and says that they should have ended the match 8-0 and tells Japan that they make him puke. But we have a lot more as we get to Bunny's point of view, as he is also watching this. As he is watching, however, he recognizes Isagi from Spain and thinks that he is the happy-looking kid he saw from back then. He then starts to get a kind of creepy smile as he sounds surprised and asks if Isagi is also from that side. And here I'm super confused if he just means that both are playing football, but it sounds like there is something deeper to his sentence, and Bunny and Isagi might be more similar than we think. After that, we get to the U20 France team, who are training in the Blue Lock training field. We then see Charles, who calls out for Loki, and he asks Loki about Japan's current level. Loki, who is filled with an outstanding aura, says that they are just small fries with spirit that are causing some buzz, and it sounds like somebody is a bit hurt by Isagi in the Neo-Egoist League, but moving on. Anyway, Charles then pulls a super funny face, and is surprised by what Loki said, and explains that Shido is there. He says that he is excited to play against him, and he then asks Loki if they are playing against Japan in the second round, which Loki then confirms. He then continues and says that personally, he would like to quickly fight against Isagi again. Just like what I said, he is truly hurt by when Isagi kind of owned him in the Neo-Egoist League. Anyway, he doesn't stop there, as he says that he would like to ask him again if Loki just happened to be born fast. After that, we go over to the bench where a mysterious player is sitting. He speaks up and asks if Isagi is really that interesting to Loki. Loki asks him what Isagi appears to him like, also calling this mysterious player Hugo. Hugo's eyes are pure black, and he looks kind of intense as he says that his adaptability is inconsistent. And with that, we also learn that this Hugo player is France's New Generation 11, which is so insane. Anyway, the ending text says, "The target is Isagi. France's egoist stands before Japan." Also, the next chapter will be called Birdcage, which I have no idea what that could mean. And also there will be no break next week, which I'm so thankful for. And now this chapter is so insane, so I have no clue where to even start, but I feel like we have to start with this new player called Hugo. First off, his design is pretty dope. I wouldn't say that he rivals like Kaiser or Bunny, but it's pretty sick. However, the one thing which I can't stop thinking about and what gets me super excited, like, you don't even understand how excited I get, but it's because he said that Isagi's adaptability is inconsistent. Now what this means is that Hugo is most likely also a player with super good adaptability skills, and by the sound of it, even better than Isagi's. But anyway, this is what I have been waiting for. For the time where we finally get to see Isagi's godly adaptability face off against another player who specializes in adaptability, as that will just be like two mind reader going against each other. Well, not really, but I feel like you get my point. But wow, I'm so insanely happy about this chapter, and hopefully you guys are looking forward to this just as much as I am. Anyway, I'm not even sure where to go from now. However, let's talk about Kaiser then. Now I'm a bit sad that we didn't see Ness. You could make the argument that this was only for the New Generation 11. However, we didn't see Lorenzo, so yeah, I'm a bit sad about not seeing the goat Ness. But still, we gotta see Kaiser, who I have been patiently waiting to see again, as I don't know, having him for like 100 plus chapters, and then him being gone was pretty sad, but I'm glad to see him again. Also super happy to see Sei just being his usual self, by trashing on the Japan team and thinking that they are trash. But on that topic, he said that Japan should have scored with 8 goals. Now I wonder if he just said a random number, or if he saw 4 more times throughout the match where they could have score, making it 8 goals in total if they would have seen the field as Sei does. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Anyway, I was super happy to also see Bunny for a quick second, as I can't wait to just in general learn a lot more about him. Anyway, this chapter has been insane, but let me know what you thought about it. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video, which will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.